What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 7, and we started today's episode off here with a game against Leicester City in the Capital One Cup. We just beat Newcastle for our first win in a few games on the weekend. That was in the Premier League. Troy Deeney bagged a hat-trick, scoring his first goal since the opening day of the season. But coming to this game, the Capital One Cup third round against Leicester City, away from home, as you can see by the team, lots and lots of changes being made to the usual first 11. I think Capu was the only usual first 11 player out there, plus Bertrand Traore as well. So resting a lot of players for this game because obviously cup games aren't as important as league games in my opinion in this season. But the first chance would fall to Leicester, unsurprisingly. Jamie Vardy went pretty close there, but it was still goalless. And on the 30th minute mark, a good chance for us to open the scoring. Victor Barber gets on the ball and finds Etienne Capu, who slides it inside towards Britos here. Britos offloads towards Hirada, who strikes it, but it's straight at Kasper Schmeichel, and a simple save for the goalkeeper. So still 0-0, and that ended a very, very uneventful first half, to be honest. Once again, you see the possession stat right there. I'll have to say this once again. I know I said it a couple of times already, but the possession stat this year, I know last year if you watched my career mode, you knew that I dominated possession in most of the games, or at least won the battle in most of the games. Don't expect me to do that this year because it's completely different. It is so hard to get the ball off the AI and keep hold of it yourself. Still, we had a great chance to make it 1-0 just 2 minutes after the restart, but Kasper Schmeichel made a brilliant save, and eventually Leicester scrambled the ball away. We really did come out of the blocks flying in the second half, and then another great chance here in the 53rd minute. Capu finds Hirado, brilliant free ball towards Bertrand Traore, gets past Jeffrey Schlupp, goes through one-on-one, and Bertrand Traore scores his first goal for the club and makes it Leicester 0, Watford 1. A really cool finish by Traore. He's a winger, he's a winger in my team usually, but in this game I decided to play him up top, give him a chance as a striker, and he gets his first goal for the club as well. He outpaces Schlupp, goes through one-on-one, and that is a crisp finish by Traore as well. The Burkina Faso man slides it past Kasper Schmeichel, no chance for the goalkeeper, and it's Leicester 0, Watford 1. And to be honest, not much really happened after that until the 81st minute when Leicester had a good chance to equalise here. Nathan Dyer collects the ball for Leicester, chips it inside to the centre, but the header by Kante goes harmlessly behind for a goal kick, and it is still 1-0. And that was how the game would finish. As well, we're through to the 4th round of the Capital One Cup. We hold on for a 1-0 victory. Such a poor game in this one, but we do hold on for the win. And as you can see by the possession stat once again, Leicester 60%, Watford 40%. This year, the AI on Legendary, like they prioritise possession over goals. It's absolutely crazy. They barely carved out any chances in the second half. Just passed the ball around. We let them do that, and because of that, we're going through to the next round of the Capital One Cup. So it's crazy, you know, like, don't get me wrong, the AI's always tried to dominate possession on Legendary, but this year it's even more so. It's absolutely ridiculous. They barely went in search of a goal to equalise, and because of that, we're through to the next round of the Capital One Cup. Still, we take on Crystal Palace for the second game of today's episode here, the second and final game of today's episode. And before the game, Martin Tyler and Alan Smith analysed our top defensive work at the start of the season.
Well, we know the qualities of this home team today, Alan, don't we? They are so strong defensively. Best defensive record in the league.
Well, defending is an art, and sometimes a forgotten one in this day and age, but this lot haven't forgotten it, that's for sure.
So it was good to hear Martin Tyler and Alan Smith give props to our defenders. We started the season very, very brightly, and one of the big reasons as to why that is because we've been very, very solid at the back. We've brought in Riedewald into our centre-back position. He's playing alongside Prodder, who's also a new signing by the AI manager. So is Naom as well, and of course Nathan Ake too, a permanent player, not to mention Jack Butland, the goalkeeper. So an entirely new defence, but we're not playing like strangers. We're playing like an organised back line, and that's why we started the season off so well with good defensive work. Still, just 5 minutes into this game here against Crystal Palace, we'd win ourselves our third penalty in 2 games. In the last league game against Newcastle United, we won 2 penalties and Troy Deeney scored them both. It takes just 5 minutes for us to win our third penalty in 2 late games here. Ibarbo's taken down and the referee awards a correct penalty. So penalty to Watford and a great chance to make it 1-0 from the spot here. It's going to be skipper against skipper, Troy Deeney against Julian Speroni. Deeney's last 2 goals were through those penalties, but he doesn't really care, to be honest. He does score this one as well and make it Watford 1, Crystal Palace 0 to get Vicarage Road rocking. A fantastic start to this game. You could call him Penaldini. Does that work? Like Penaldo, as they call him? Penaldini, does that work? I don't know. But anyway, he scores again from the spot. It's now his 5th goal in the Premier League already. Yes, 3 of them have come from penalties, but I don't care. It's Watford 1, Crystal Palace 0, and we're off to the perfect start here at Vicarage Road. But from kick-off here, Palace tried to get themselves back on level terms right from the beginning as Chung Young goes down the right-hand side, plays it inside towards Jason Puncheon, back to Lee Chung Young, plays it back inside inside towards Jason Puncheon here as he gets himself inside, and Puncheon's shot is brilliantly saved by Jack Butland, and eventually we get the ball away. So great save there by a young goalkeeper, and we keep it at 1-0 as he saves the follow-up shot as well. So still 1-0 in this game, and in the 13th minute a good chance to make it 2-0 here. Ruben Loftus-Cheek finds Etienne Capoue, lovely through ball towards Troy Deeney, the man in form right now. Deeney gets taken down, but he still manages to release the ball towards Victor Barbo, takes it around Joel Ward, slides it inside towards Etienne Capoue, and Watford's record signing makes it Watford 2, Crystal Palace 0. So had a pretty decent start to the season, Etienne Capoue. As a holding midfielder, he's done the job really, just locked down the defence and made sure that no one comes through. But for this attack, he decided to bomb himself forward, get involved in the front line, and he also gets his first goal for Watford as well, as Watford's record signing does make it Watford 2, Crystal Palace 0. So Etienne Capoue with a goal there, and he's the type of defensive midfielder you want. You know, he sits back, doesn't really join the attack too much, just make sure that no one's going to get past him and, you know, running into the defensive areas for us and make us worry a little bit. But he gets forward in this moment of time, does get himself a chance, and he takes it really well to make it 2-0. From kickoff, Palace give the ball away. Ibarbo slides it through towards Troy Deeney, takes it around his man here, slides it inside towards Loftus-Cheek. His shot is to post, but it comes to Bertrand Traore, and Bertrand Traore makes it Watford 3, Crystal Palace 0. And just 18 minutes in, Pardew must have been sweating like David Cameron in a pigsty. Seriously, 3 goals up in this game, and Crystal Palace, the defence was just all over the place. They could not cope with our rapid front three. Bertrand Traore gets his second goal in 2 games in all competitions. We're 3 goals up already, and Palace were looking absolutely abysmal. But to be honest, as much as I could laugh about it, there wasn't much to laugh about here. I tried to spread the ball across from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. It hits Etienne Capoue, it falls to Jason Puncheon, and in the 35th minute, Puncheon gets Palace back in the game. So from 3-0 down, they get themselves a goal back, and that was just really, really poor. You know, I tried to switch the play from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. It hits against Etienne Capoue. We scored our second goal. Puncheon runs onto it, says, "Thank you very much. I'm going to blast this past Jack Butland and get my team back in the game." So really poor from me there. Great finish by Puncheon, don't get me wrong, but you can't afford to make mistakes like that because you will get punished on Legendary. So Watford 3, Palace 1. They get themselves back in the game with a really poor piece of defending by me. But in the 43rd minute for us, sadly, we would see ourselves get an injury. Sebastian Prodl, who started the season off quite well, Watford's new centre-half that wasn't brought in by me, but the AL manager instead. The number 5 has to get himself subbed off, and he goes to leave the pitch. So that's a bit of a shame there. An injury for Prodl, and as you'll see come the end of the game, it's a dislocated shoulder. So that's a bit of a shame there. Belkalem will most likely step in. He did come off the bench as well in this game, but either way, it's not too concerning. It's not like a several month injury, but either way, still not good to see. But Watford 3, Crystal Palace 1 was to score at half time. But in the second half, just 5 minutes after the restart, Palace would come from 3 goals down to make it 3-2. Yannick Bolasie gets Palace within 1 goal of equalising in this game. Really, really poor defending by me. Again, you know, for the first goal that Palace scored, it was my fault, and for this goal, it was my fault as well. You know, sometimes the AI will score, and maybe your goalkeeper could have done better, or it's a lucky deflection or something. But for this goal, I mean, why I slid in there, I don't know. Why I didn't stand the man up, I don't know. Why I left Yannick Bolasie unmarked, I don't know. Just really, really poor defending from me there, and Palace are back in the game, and it's Watford 3, Palace 2. So really poor from me. We were plain sailing at 3-0 20 minutes in, but now it was 3-2, and Palace began to pile on the pressure. Wilfried Zaha went very close to making it 3-3 here. If it wasn't for a great save by Jack Butland, he would have levelled it for Palace, but it was still 3-2 to Watford. And in stoppage time, they had one of their final chances of the game. They play a long ball forward, Dwight Gale flicks it on, and Yannick Bolasie scored the second goal, almost scored a fantastic third goal, but fortunately for us, Jack Butland makes an absolutely superb stop and turns it behind for a corner. So we may have conceded 2 goals, but 2 big saves there by Jack Butland does ensure we get the win, and we do get another 3 points on the board. So 3 wins out of 3 in all competitions, really pleased with that. Yes, of course, defensively, very, very poor in that game. We'll have to work on that going into the next game. But either way, still delighted to get another win notched up for us as well. And after not winning since the opening day of the season, you know, in the league, we had to wait until the Newcastle game to get another win notched up. Now that is 3 wins in 3 in all competitions. That's exactly what we want to see. And again, you can see Palace once again beat me in possession in this game, but I still felt we deserved a win. And I'm really glad we got it. So final score, Watford 3, Crystal Palace 2. It was a very tough game in the second half. You know, I sort of played for the defensive strategy, really. Shouldn't have sat back as much as I did, invited so much pressure onto me, but either way, at least we got the win. That's the most important thing. Confirmation, Sebastian Prodl did indeed dislocate his shoulder. He will be out for 8 weeks. That's 2 months. Bit of a shame, but I still trust Belkalem can come in and do the job, or possibly even Michael Keane, one of our new signings. And also you can see Lewis Cook is returning from injury after you saw the training drills there. Once again, thank you for the advice on training. I've been reading the comments. Quite a few have been giving me suggestions on training. I'll look into it a little bit further myself, but for the time being, I'm just going to keep on on simulating the exercises and make sure we can just get a little bit of a boost for each player as the weeks go by. Still following out your squad report to any episode off, and also a look at the league table as well. Here's a question for you guys, by the way. We've now entered October in the season. Where do you think we're going to finish in the league this season? I've seen quite a few people, saying that I could possibly be challenging for Europe. Some people saying mid-table. Where do you think we'll be finishing come the end of the season? Let me know in the comments down below what league position you think we'll end up in. I'm going to go with... I think this is a good Watford side. That's now 3 wins in all competitions. I'm going to be optimistic. I think we're going to finish in 8th place this season. That's a pretty high finish for our first season in Premier League, but I'm going to go for an 8th place finish come the end of the season. As you can see right now, we're in 6th place as we enter October. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think, where you think, I should say, we'll be finishing in the league come the end of the season. I'm going to say 8th. We'll see who's right come the end of the season. Long way to go, obviously, as we now enter October. But either way, let me know in the comments where you think we'll finish in the league this season. But that does end the episode, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the double episode day of Career Mode, then please do leave a like, so it's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.